I've always considered myself to be very interested in animals and the animal kingdom and insects and birds. I used to collect ants, and I've had multiple pets growing up, including a turtle, cats, dogs. Out in the country where we used to go, they had chickens and pigs and horses. And at home, we also had ducks. We got these ducks. They were just very little yellow balls of feathers. They were so cute. And my brother and I each had one duck that we took care of. And they became instantly attached to us and we to them. The ducks grew up with time. They were like 2 feet tall. Of course, they changed color. They were white. But they were just the same. We would call them and they would come over. They would sit in our lap. They knew it, and they had a name, and they would run from across the yard when we came home. One evening, my parents told my sister, my brother, and I that they were going to pay us to go to the movies. They would pay our movie ticket. And so we were used to traveling by ourselves, and so we got on the bus and we went to the movie, and we came back just in time for dinner. Now, dinner at my home used to be an adventure. You didn't know what you're going to get. And so we had all kinds of things like seaweed and all kinds of different animal parts, hearts, kidney, brain, you name it. You didn't know what you were going to get. It might be covered in sauces, it might be under some lettuce, but there was usually something, a surprise. It's almost like my parents believe, someday we're going to be so poor that you're going to have to eat the paint from the wall. And so you might as well get used to eating whatever we put on your plate. And by and large, we did. Remember one time going out to this place that was considered very authentic. So we're sitting there, and they come with this big plate. And in this huge plate, there's a skull of a cow that had been sawn in half. Now, I don't know whether they cooked it first, and then they saw it, or whether they saw it, and then they cooked it. But there it was, the skull of the cow with these little cavities, and steaming from it were the body parts of the cow that were edible. And it's not like I hadn't eaten any of that before, so I took my fork and ate the cow. The eye, the brain, the tongue. Yeah. So that evening, we came home from the cinema, and we sat down to eat. And we looked around, and there was a kind of a weird silence. I looked at my parents, and they were not looking at us. They were gazing at each other and kind of looking down. So my brother and I looked at the suspicious-looking food on this plate, and we both asked, almost in unison, I said, "Where's Tweety? Where's Ducky?" Yeah, you got it. So we ate the cow from the skull, but we were not going to eat Ducky and Tweety. My brother and I both got up and left into our room. My sister, that didn't have a duck in this fight, got up out of solidarity. She didn't want to eat either. So years later, I have my own kids, and I want to teach them to eat everything. But at the same time, I want them to appreciate animals. And so we got a dog. This dog was Haley's Comet. It used to be called Bailey, but we changed it to Haley's Comet. And Haley was this beautiful golden retriever, Australian Shepherd mix. He had a tail that looked like a fox. It was beautiful. And he had been abused when he was little, but with love and affection, just like the one we gave the ducks. Haley grew up to be a very loving and protective and gentle pet. After about 11 years with Haley, he started having these awful coughs. It's almost like he was trying to get something out of his chest. So we took him out to the vet. They did some x-ray, and we were looking carefully at the x-ray and said, "What is that?" "That's the heart." "And what is that other thing?" "That's like a second heart." It was a huge tumor that he had in his lung, and he was trying to cough it out, just get the tumor out. A few days later, the doctors came to Haley's home, 2 injections, one to put him to sleep, and the other one to stop his heart. the experience to me was an aha moment because it made me realize that I had this checkered past, like eating animals left and right, but I love animals. And so there's a contradiction that me, as in a personal decision, I couldn't live with. And Halley's Comet was the reason why I became a vegetarian. And I'm an 85% vegan, I would say. So that's my aha moment.